What is going on, Grinders? It's Chief, aka Will Priester. Yes, I did my name in reverse because some people don't know my real name. Some people know me as just Chief or Chief Justice '06 in the DFS streets. I am joined by one of my good buddies, one of my good friends in the industry, up north in Canada, my man TJ, Agents of Fandom. We are in the building, folks, and I could not have thought of a better duo for this type of slate. Like, we should be able to put you guys on some good spots, help you not overthink things. Really excited. TJ, what is up, my brother?
I'm so excited about this slate. This may be stupid. I had planned on saving some entry fees for NFL here, but I just feel like with the lack of NBA content there has been in the industry today, because it's a Saturday, and just looking here at RG, we got the expert survey and crunch time. I was on both of those today. I feel like I got an edge. And so I decided to go big. I'm running 3 main lineups and then 100 lineups in an MME scenario. So feeling good, and I am ready to rock and roll with this slate we got coming.
Well, look, before we rock out with our socks out, let me turn on my radio voice, because this show is sponsored by a particular company. Guess what, folks? That company is Fanduel. And we hope you're all participating in the Fanduel single entry series presented by RotoGrinders. Shout out to the winners from last Sunday's final days of contest. In first, we had TF Belongia. Second, BM Williams 24. And in third, get this, folks, Professional. Yes, that is their name, Professional. You can also sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook if you're in a legal sports betting state, not South Carolina where I live, and take advantage of their awesome bonus offer. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. Also, folks, one of our sister companies here, Scores and Odds. I contribute to Scores and Odds. We have a plethora of other content providers that provide content for Scores and Odds. This is your number one place for all things sports betting. Check it out for everything you need to make a better sports bettor, including, get this, folks, our new Parlay IQ tool, now with FanDuel Sportsbook integration. Build your optimized same-game parlay based on data from thousands of simulated games, and with the click of a button, you can bring that bet slip directly to your FanDuel Sportsbook. All right, radio voice is off. Let's talk about this slate, folks, and let's dig into it. We're going to start on FanDuel, of course. TJ, I know people want to hear about cash games. I'm going to let you talk about that. I don't care about cash games tonight. I think this is a tournament night if I've ever seen it, and that's not a knock on anyone that's heavily invested in cash. Trust me, folks, I'm not throwing a dig here, but this is a tournament slate if I've ever seen one. TJ, what do we say?
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a tournament slate if I have ever seen one today. But the stupid Nets kind of just threw a wrench in my plans with this starting lineup that they're running today. It's Sumner, Mills, Kessler Edwards, Markieff Morris, as well as Day'Ron Sharpe. And so with that lineup out there, I had originally had Cam Thomas locked, and I still like him in tournaments coming off the bench. I'm going to get probably 80-90% of them today, but pulling off that lock button and getting a little bit less here now. Day'Ron Sharpe, Edmund Sumner, the first two values you're plugging into your lineup today. Jordan Goodwin is probably going in there as well at the point guard position. On that note, I would actually play Sumner. I would wait to play Sumner. I'd put him at the shooting guard position because you need Steph Curry in cash today. You need Steph Curry in cash. So I would go Goodwin and Curry at the point guard position. And then I'd roll with Sumner in cash. Now that second shooting guard position, you are choosing between a Brooklyn Net or a Utah Jazz player. You are playing Cam Thomas, Talen Horton-Tucker, or Nickeil Alexander-Walker. If you're paying up, you're looking at Spencer Dinwiddie or where was the other one here that I was looking at? Spencer Dinwiddie or Darius Garland. That's your options. Shooting over to the small forward position. You're paying down for Kessler Edwards, who's in the starting lineup. You're playing Alexander Walker or Horton Tucker. Markieff Morris is an option there. I think my priority would be Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Kessler Edwards from a pay down perspective. From a pay up perspective, I'm looking at Jaylen Brown here. If you get caught in the mid tier, Malik Beasley is a fine play as well. And then at the power forward position, for me, it's Sharp and Tatum. Sharp and Tatum are the two guys that I want to play here. In cash games, I would want to make sure I have Tatum or Brown. If you don't want to get up to Tatum here at the power forward position, you like a different build better, I think that's okay. But I think you want to play Tatum or Brown in your cash game lineup today. And so for me here, it's like Sharp is the lock of locks. But my second spot at the power forward here, I'm looking to pay up with either Porzingis or Tatum. And it just kind of depends what the build you want to go with. Center position, for me, it has to be Jokic. Raw points matter. We have all the value in the world. It has to be Jokic. And if it's not Jokic, it's Porzingis.
Yeah, I get it completely. If you're in cash games, so let me just say this. I think if you're playing cash, just plug in Tatum and Jokic and then figure it out. Because the value will be all over the place.
Tatum, Jokic, Sumner, Sharp, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Those are the five, your cores.
Absolutely. I just meant big spins. I know I didn't clarify, but big spins like Jokic, Tatum, take your guaranteed, I would say 40 points at a minimum from both, right, TJ? Like, I don't think either goes less than 40. Both probably go over 45, and both have upside for 60 plus. So I think you just take those guys. In tournaments, though, I think we've got some interesting choices. Luka is out. Dinwiddie could put up a monster here. He does have more help now with Christian Wood, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is back to shooting everything. Even on the other side of this game, like I know a lot of times when we see the value on one side, we don't think about it. Like Indiana's going to give us some really good options in this game as well. How do we want to handle tournaments? I'll chime in. TJ, tell me something good.
So the biggest thing is this Brooklyn Nets situation, and they already have a bit of a different starting lineup than we're projecting today, but every player except for Yuta Watanabe and Alondas Williams, and I'll have slightly a bit of Yuta, I don't think I'll have any Alondas, are phenomenal plays. Every single one of them. The starters will carry ownership. Sharp will be highly owned. Sumner will be highly owned. Outside of that, it won't be near as crazy as it should be. I will have bare minimum 2 nets in every lineup, but up to 3 or 4 in all of my tournament lineups. I'm going to have one of Sumner, Thomas, and Mills in every single one of my lineups. I'm going to have one of Morris, Sharp, and Edwards in every single one of my lineups. It's all about the Brooklyn Nets in tournaments. And outside of the main ones like Sharp and Sumner, you're probably going to get some low-owned guys. My favorite one by far is Cam Thomas coming off the bench. I think that's just a tournament-winning play today. And then outside of that, I'm kind of just looking to make some mini game stacks. I like this Dallas situation. We're not playing him today, but I just want to shout out your guy Kemba Walker is making his NBA season debut today with a 15 to 20 minutes limit. But Christian Wood, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway Jr. are all in play. Spencer Dinwiddie is kind of my priority there, and I don't hate the idea of playing 2 of them, running it back with a little Chicago. But my favorite thing to do in tournaments to mix in with this Brooklyn and Utah value is Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, mixing with Steph Curry.
I'm with you. I like that call. I've got another game that I like that I think people just don't want to get involved based on how the slate has set up. Like nobody wants to play SGA today. And then inversely, like Darius Garland is going to get 24% ownership, but like that's still fairly low considering, Donovan Mitchell is out. Like I think Garland could put up a monster here tonight. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to settle in with Garland because I'm pretty much going single entry tonight because I got to do something when I leave here. But this is a very interesting spot because I feel like those guys aren't going to get any ownership. Like even Spencer Dinwiddie, you talked about Dinwiddie, who I like. we've only got him projected at 18%. That's fairly low considering they're in the Bulls with no Luka. Like that's to me, that's I mean, we've seen Spencer Dinwiddie go for 40 plus easily with Luka out of the lineup on several
40 plus
occasions.
raw points.
Yeah.
Like
so
not fantasy, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I feel like he's somewhat getting lost in the shuffle here. So I like him a lot. And then you already talked about the Utah guys. I don't think we have to bang that drum too loud. Everybody knows that you need to be playing some Nickeil Alexander-Walker tonight. I mean, at 4,500 on FanDuel, no brainer. And you can get him at small forward, which is even better. So love that call. Do you have anything else, off the beaten path on FanDuel that you? I have one. I'm just checking to see if you have anything else off the beaten path. TJ, I think you're muted.
Sorry, the dogs were barking and I forgot to unmute. I don't think I have anything else too off the beaten path for you here, other than the ones I mentioned. I do think Tyrese Halliburton, who has been ruled in, is a phenomenal tournament play today as a run back with all these Brooklyn players that not many people are going to be getting to because he was questionable all day. Miles Turner in that same game, I think, is somewhat interesting. My question for you is, do you think I should set my rule to minimum 2 Brooklyn players or minimum 3 Brooklyn players in every lineup?
So you're gonna put the lock button on Day'Ron Sharpe, I know. I'm pretty sure. Close.
Yes, 90%, and then and I'll have Morris and or Kessler Edwards on every lineup. I don't have Day'Ron Sharpe.
Okay, so then it comes down to Sumner, Mills, Thomas. Watch it like that. I would say maybe 3. I think I gotta do 3. I think because like if Sharpe goes for, as an example, 33, right? I'm not trying to be unreasonable. I'm saying like Sharpe goes for 33. And then let's say Sumner goes for 35-ish. And then one of the other guys go for mid-30s too. Like now they're almost necessary because if the other big spins do what they're supposed to do, which they should, and then the mid-range guys, if you play any, get there as well. I mean, you're looking at probably what 4. I don't even think 460 is going to take down a GPP tonight, unless everybody just wets the bed.
And see, that's my thing. Is I feel like it's we better pivot over to DraftKings here, run through a kind of cash build quick for people. But that's kind of what I'm feeling like too. Is I would be 100%, no questions asked, doing the whole 3 Nets guys, if it wasn't for the value that we also have in Utah. Like, I could see it being possible that, say, the Nets just put up 70 points tonight and Utah has a big day and Horton Tucker goes off and Nickeil Alexander-Walker goes off and whoever else for them. That's the one reason I'm hesitant. But as it stands right now, I got the 3 in there.
Yeah. I think the only difference, too, is Utah has, 2 extra points to the Nets right now? I think that's what it is. The Nets have,
just very limited at guard.
Yeah.
But it could just be a Malik Beasley day. And so, yeah, I think it's got to be the 3 Nets.
Yeah. That's my read. All right, my brother. Cash games, DK. We'll talk tournaments, DK, and then we'll try to start taking some questions here.
All right. Sounds good here. You know what? If you don't mind, why don't you take your quick DK and or tournament takes, parlay takes quick. I just got to get in my final set of lineups here, and then I'm going to be ready to roll.
Yeah, I mean, so on DK, I think there's a couple lock buttons. So Day'Ron Sharpe is at center. I know he's at center, but you either play him at center or utility, however you want to do it. Lock button. You've got Nickeil Alexander-Walker at 3,100 on DK. Lock button. And when I say lock, folks, I'm not talking about like I'm legitimately saying play them in every lineup. You've got Edmund Sumner 3,200 lock button, and from there, I think you lock those three in, and then, in my opinion, you just start mixing and matching all the other big plays. Tatum, Curry, even Dame Lillard, I would be getting to tonight, just because of the situation. Jokic, of course. I would mix and match those guys. We're getting a little bit of a discount on Spencer Dinwiddie on DK at 6,300. I'd have a ton of him. Like, this is how I would kind of approach the whole slate. I know Curry's at 11-1. You got to get him in. Like, because when you're locking in this many cheap plays, SGA, Garland, Karis LeVert is 4,400 on DK. He's in, like, DK is giving you so many options tonight. And so, but I think you lock those couple of 3K guys in and you literally just mix and match around those, making sure. And honestly, if I'm on DK, TJ, I almost make a rule where I want at least two of the big guns. So SGA and Jokic, SGA and Curry, SGA and Tatum, Tatum Jokic, Tatum Curry. I want at least two of those guys in every single lineup. Like, I put those 5 or 6 in there and I just let them rotate around my core. And that's how you hit the nuts in this business, folks.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I love that strategy. And I think these are the guys that you got locked here. I think those are the same plays that we're going to be looking at for cash games today. Like, I think those are the same people that we're going to be locking in first to our cash games. And so looking at the guard position here, Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Edmund Sumner are priority 1 and 2. Karis LeVert is nice and cheap. Jordan Goodwin is cheap as well. Of those two, I think I would prioritize Goodwin. And then if you're paying up here for a guard, I would prioritize Darius Garland 1, Steph Curry 2. Shifting over to small forward and power forward, Jaylen Brown would be my first priority. Jason Tatum is right behind him. My favorite value here is probably Karis LeVert, but if you can't quite get up to him for some reason, I actually don't mind. Like, if you have salary to spare, I don't mind going to Avdia instead, although that's probably more of a tournament thing. But if you can't get up to LeVert, I think if you land on Talen Horton-Tucker, there's no problem with that whatsoever. So you're just looking at Brooklyn and Utah cheap players, prioritizing the ones in the starting lineup for cash games, and then looking at Celtics, Warriors, spend ups. And then when we get to the center position, you're playing Day'Ron Sharpe at one of the positions. I think you're probably using your utility position today for either a point guard or a center. It's one of the two. You're going alongside. You need to play Curry as well as Darius Garland, stuff like that, or you're using it for Nikola Jokic here at the center position. Like, that's kind of, you're going one of two ways, and that's how I think it is.
Absolutely. And let me just say, I didn't mean to mention, I do think Miles Turner should be in big time consideration for tournaments tonight. Both sites, more specifically DK at 6,800, where he's 7,800 on FanDuel. I think you get more exposure on DK. But I did want to point that out tonight. Oh no, I just lost my build. My gosh, that sucks. All right, so TJ, I want to let you handle some questions. I need to get my single entry in now because I thought I had it saved and it did not save. So I need to plug that in quickly. Folks, hang in there with us. We've got 10 minutes. We're not going to push you all to the side. I'm just trying to get in my build here before it's too late.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. 200 people watching right now, only 20 likes. We got to get over there and hit that. So if you want us to focus on the YouTube questions as opposed to building our own lineups here, make sure you hit the like button. Otherwise, we may just have to focus on our own lineups. Until then, we are going to the NBA Crunch Time Discord, getting our premium members out here first. Would you limit to Tatum and Brown to 1 per line for a DK GPP? Heck no. You can absolutely play them both. I would rather play minimum one of them in every lineup as opposed to maximum one of them in every lineup. How many nets is too many in FanDuel Cash? No such thing. You can absolutely play 4. QQ for a DK Cash, Sumner, Kuzma, and THT, or Thomas, Mobley, and LeVert. I think I like the Thomas, Mobley, LeVert range of that one, but Sumner probably should be a cash game lock. So maybe want to fiddle with a little bit of adjusting there. DK GPP pick 2, Edmund Sumner, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jordan Goodwin. I think for me, that's got to be Sumner and Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Oh, man,
but
without question.
I don't like, if you're playing a ton of nets somewhere else, I don't mind using Goodwin instead of Sumner as a pivot in a tournament. But I think I would rather just go with those 2 main guys there.
Let me do this too, folks, because sometimes I'm glad you're on here, TJ. I need to bounce an idea off of you. So, quick question. Would you go Porzingis and Halliburton, okay, or Jokic and Dinwiddie? Porzingis.
I'd go Jokic, Dinwiddie for sure.
That's what I thought, but I just, sometimes your brain starts like pushing you.
That's when you put the second lineup in, Chief. That's when you split it in 2. When you split that single entry in 2.
Oh man, I don't have time for that tonight. We have any YouTube questions?
Yes, but I'm going to need you to, we're going to pass that baton off to you as I make a couple adjustments here because I wanted to get about 2% Ivica Zubats and Jalen Smith, and I currently got 0 of both of them.
Okay. YouTube people, if you will just hang in there with me, I am getting this pulled up. Bear with me. We're going to get your questions. Good. All right,
we're good.
Yeah,
thoughts on Brown and Tatum in the same lineup? Yeah, we covered that one. Absolutely do it. Sumner or Kemba Walker on DK. Don't include Kemba Walker in your pool, and Edmund Sumner should be in a ton of your lineups. Got a bunch of questions being like, why the hell aren't people hitting the like button? I agree with them. Hit the like button, people. $5,300 a last piece DK cash. What do you think about Tim Hardaway as that last piece there? I think I would rather go Avdia.
What they said? Tim Hardaway, DK cash.
Yeah, it's a last piece situation. Would you rather go Hardaway?
No, I honestly,
Avdia?
There's one answer for this, and that's what I'm saying. I think people are overlooking how great of a play. It's Karis LeVert.
$4,400. Just leave that salary on the table. You can upgrade somewhere else, or
yes,
you do have LeVert already in your lineup. Of those options, I think like Hardaway Jr. or Hardaway Jr. or Denny Avdia are kind of fine last pieces, but yeah, I'd rather just pay down for LeVert there.
Yeah, this person here, Paul George or Jaylen Brown. I think it's Jaylen Brown tonight against the Warriors. The Warriors are at home, so they should be playing better as well. Like if the Warriors were in Boston, I'd be a little leery, but they're in Golden State tonight. Love Jaylen Brown.
I like it. 4 minutes to lock here. What are some of the parlays you got cooking today?
So I'll kind of give you a rundown of all of my main picks. So we have give me a second, sorry. So these are some of my main ones. Jamal Murray under 4 rebounds or 4.5. Lamar Stevens under 9.5 points. I've got Steph Curry under 6 rebounds. Shot SGA under 6 assists. Kawhi Leonard over 4.5 rebounds. Let's see. Just trying to figure out. Listen, man, I've got stuff all over the place. Give me a second.
QQ, last piece here. Should I go Taylor Horton Tucker or Kessler Edwards?
Tournaments or cash?
Tournament.
I might see. I don't know who's actually going to get the most minutes.
You know
I think
what? The answer, I got three. I got three main lineups, and Edwards is already on one, so the answer is THT.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. I was going to say THT. I think is in there for sure. Somebody else that I have, Zach LaVine, over 22.5 points tonight. Softer matchup with no Luka. 22.5 is fairly soft for Zach LaVine. So I like him. If you've got access to this one, Steph Curry under 1.5 blocks and steals. Got a little exposure to that. Let's see what else I have. Because what I have to do, TJ, I have to go between all these sites and find my card. So some I don't play on other sites because I get a better line. You get what I'm saying?
Got you. We do have some more QQs in Discord, so I want to prioritize those quick. Would you pay up for Jokic or Lillard in a DK tourney? That's Jokic by far.
Jokic, absolutely.
DK GPP, Denny Avdia, Steph Curry, Jaylen Brown versus Tatum, SGA, and THT. I think that's the Curry Brown obvious side for me. How about you?
Ooh, I think I'm opposite. I think Tatum SGA is different enough. You know what I mean? Like I don't see that combo with. I don't see that one coming through a lot. If I have that combo for what it's worth, Tatum SGA.
I like it. Thompson or Poole in a FanDuel 3-entry max. That's Klay Thompson for me.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna side with you on that one.
Would you pivot to Alex Caruso off of the Goodwin chalk on FanDuel? Caruso's not in my pool today for 100 lineups.
Yeah, zero.
DK Cash, Jokic, Goodwin, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, or Dinwiddie, D'Angelo Russell, and Beasley. That's Jokic, Goodwin, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker for me.
Absolutely.
Peek it back over to the
second one would be a
YouTube.
tournament play, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie, D'Lo, yeah.
Can you play Levert and Mobley together in the same GPP? I don't see why not.
Yeah, I'm not as high on Mobley tonight. I do think this is a guard game, but I get it.
What do you think about Christian Wood on FanDuel today in a tournament?
I think you play it, but I'm a little leery of Christian Wood because Jason Kidd isn't giving him 35 minutes. He's playing 25, 26 minutes. I can't in good conscience get too deep in terms of ownership on Christian Wood.
Yeah, I think that makes complete sense. Is Minnesota-Portland going overlooked? I think it wasn't earlier in the day, and now I do think it is, in fact, going quite overlooked today. I don't think there are very many people in that game who are cash viable, but Lillard, D'Angelo Russell, Edwards, Gobert, Nurkic, even a little Kyle Anderson all make for interesting tournament plays for me today.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks. I don't
is to lock.
Yeah, and
that's
I don't see any more questions. I am in the Crunch Time Discord. I don't see any. I'm going back to YouTube just to make sure. Thoughts on what? Yep, I don't see anything crazy out there. I think we've helped the people. And look, if people have been watching RotoGrinders for a few years, and you've seen a lot of the personalities on here, even going back to the CSU Ram days, the Big T days, the Jax 101 days. If you've been going back, like if you've watched enough content and consumed enough content, not only do you probably know how we think, you've also been able to not depend on us as much to spoon feed you the information. You know how to go out and get it yourself. And then just come here and get a little bit of perspective. We thank you for hanging out with us, getting a little bit of perspective on a Saturday night. You took time out of your busy schedule to hang out with TJ and Chief. Appreciate you guys. Thanks a bunch to my main man, Mets fan extraordinaire, Steve, doing the producing. TJ looks like he's got something to say before we get on a plane and head to Vegas. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because I'm playing so heavy tonight, there's a couple things I just want to, we'll fill the people in, let each other in on our sweats a little bit to know if the night goes well or not. The biggest things that I think are going to make or break my night today, just based on the ownership in the first game, is in all of my lineups, I have 40% Edmund Sumner, and Edmund Sumner is 50% owned in the $9 and 65 in the $44. But I have 86% Cam Thomas, where he is only 25% owned in both, coming off the bench. The other big one is we ended up getting Kessler Edwards into the starting lineup. I ended up getting him in 25% of my lineups, bumped him up as soon as I saw he was starting, and he's only 7% owned today in GPPs.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. He and plus he was the odd man out anyway. Like, everybody wanted to play Sharp and Sumner, which you already knew. Believe it or not, I ended up in the Sharp and Morris, and Morris is 6.9%.
Morris is 6.9. I got him at 14, so that's still nice to ended up double on the Markieff Morris.
Yeah. So we'll see. I ended up a little bit off the board, and I'll go ahead and kind of give this to people now because they can't play my lineup. But
David Duke, 4.4%.
I couldn't believe that, but I get it. I totally get it. I ended up, instead of going, so my big spins, I've got SGA, Tatum, and Jokic. I got all three. Those were my big spins. Got some cheap value, but I think the difference for me, I played Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert today on Fanduel.
So it sounds like we probably have almost the exact same lineup, but I went Curry and Beasley over LeVert and SGA.
Correct. There you go. I went a LeVert because I felt like with me running one lineup, that was going to be different enough to carry me to the finish line. We'll see if I'm right. I may not be right.
Whereas for me personally, how I ended up doing that in my three big lineups on FanDuel today is I wanted to mix and match the Utah guys. So I have Alexander Walker in all three, but then I have Malik. I mix and match. Beasley is in one, Horton Tucker is in one, and then I have Kessler Edwards in that other one. So I went decided to get two of the Utah guys, but not knowing if it was going to be a Horton Tucker day or a Beasley day, I figured I'd mix and match.
Yes, sir. Well, folks, we gave you a little bit of bonus crunch time here, an extra 5 minutes. We're going to shut it down for TJ, Steve producing behind the scenes. I'm Chief Justice 06. Catch us on Twitter, and we'll crunch with you later.